Beyond.
A secret government experiment
That's me. This is how I was born. You see, there was a man. He poked me with a stick. Boom. Space cat.
turned animals into spies. A lie
Spies?
about food created a global crisis, and powerful men were caught performing strange rituals in the woods. These stories sound like nonsense. Many people didn't believe them, then the truth came out. Today we're diving into insane conspiracy theories that were true all along. We'll begin with the strange cases and work our way to the most shocking. Our goal, guys, is 2.5 million subscribers by the end of 2026, and it is crazy, so it would mean the world if you subscribe. I will do my very best to put out the best videos I can for you. I'm Visual Venture, and you are awesome. The animal spy conspiracy.
Oh my god, it's true. The pigeons were fucking government drones after all. I fucking knew it. I knew it. It's the pigeons.
During the Cold War, the US
Knew
and
it.
Soviet Union spied on each other. That's no secret, but there's one bizarre conspiracy theory from that period. People claimed the CIA tried to turn animals into spies. It sounded crazy, but declassified documents proved it actually happened. In the early 1960s,
Bro. Wait, so Russia spied on so how do you get the animals from one side to the other though?
being a CIA spy meant risking your life. Anyone caught spying in the Soviet Union
So you just have like a catapult. You just have like a bunch of cats and you just like go onto the plane with them with 100 cats and you just let it out to America or what?
could be executed. The CIA
then-
wanted to spy without putting agents in danger, so they came up with a strange idea. Stop relying on human agents. That was where cats came in. The CIA realized
They used to be.
cats could go anywhere without drawing attention. That made them perfect spies. So the agents
Okay, but how do you make sure that the cat doesn't just like cuddle up to an old lady who feeds them, but they go actually to, I don't know, fucking Obama's house so that they can listen in with something?
launched Project
Don't worry about
Acoustic
it.
Kitty. The goal was simple: turn
Laser pointers. How could I not think about this? Thank you, Ikosin. How could I not think about that?
a cat into a walking listening device. Surgeons would implant a microphone, a radio transmitter, and an
Never seen a
antenna
baby
into
pigeon.
Oh.
X-Files music plays.
Ah, baby pigeons.
the cat's body. The idea was that the cat would move near a target, the mic would capture the conversation, and the transmitter would send the audio to the CIA. On paper, it sounded smart. In real life, it was chaos. Implanting those devices into a living creature was tricky. It took months
Okay, mind you, it has so many flaws. Like, first of all, back then there is no way that they could have the device have such an area. Like, Bluetooth wasn't a thing. Like, I don't even know how. Like, you must have been really close to the animals. Also, you can't control the animal. What if it doesn't want to go where you want it to go? What if it scratches it out? Radio transmission is pretty long. Okay, but what if like something eats your cat? Like you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to implant the cat and like a fucking stray dog eats your cat and your device. Then it's dead? Who would eat your cat? Bro, what do you mean who would eat your cat? There's always someone to eat your cat.
to figure out. One report said they made a monstrosity. At that point, it was time to train the
That's
cat.
right.
But a new problem came up. The cat was hard to control. During training, it kept wandering off and chasing birds. It also
The laser pointer. They actually need the laser pointers, gentlemen.
kept stopping to look for
Hey!
food. Even so, the agency decided the spy cat was ready. It was time for a real mission. In 1967, the CIA released the spy cat near the Soviet embassy in Washington, D.C. Two men were sitting on a nearby park bench. Agents wanted the cat to get close enough to record the conversation. They released the cat. It stepped into the street. Then a taxi hit it. The mission
As cool, I'm putting a transmitter in, you don't resist.
See, you were like, who would eat your cat? There you go. It doesn't need to be eaten. Got fucking hit by a car immediately. Meow.
was over before it even began. By then, the agency already spent about $20 million on the project.
20 million! Bro. On a cat. Acoustic kitty? More like autistic kitty.
That's roughly $170 million today. But they decided to quietly shut it down. One memo said the project was not practical. However, the agency didn't give up on the idea of animal spies. Instead, they tried something even stranger. By the early 1970s, CIA engineers came up with a new plan. If real animals were too hard to control, they would build a machine that looked like one. That idea became the Insectithopter. It was a tiny drone built to look like...
Okay, this is a bit better though. Thank you, Balls! This is a bit better idea. At least they can control this shit.
A dragonfly. It had a tiny engine that powered the wings. A microphone was hidden in the head, and operators could control it remotely. By 1976, the CIA had a working prototype.
Ooh.
This is the first flight of the insect.
Thank you, Bear! Thank you so much for the thank you feed. I will not send my CIA robot after you. Right now.
Size unmanned aerial vehicle called Insectithopter. Flight tests were impressive.
The plan was for it to fly close to a target and record conversations. Once again, it didn't work well in real life. The drone was extremely light. That meant even a small breeze could push it off course. Agents struggled to keep it steady long enough to record anything useful. Eventually, the project was abandoned. The Acoustic Kitty and Insectithopter projects remained classified for decades. People talked about them, but no one could confirm they were real. Then in the early 2000s, the CIA declassified some documents. That was when the truth finally became public. In 2003, the CIA put an Insectithopter prototype on display in its museum. The company in our next chapter secretly did something to millions of their own customers and didn't tell anyone. The Battery Gate Conspiracy.
The Battery Gate? Dude, now they don't even have to go all around the circle. As long as you have like an account with anyone.
For years, iPhone users noticed
Apple?
a frustrating pattern. Whenever Apple released a new iPhone, the older models seemed to get slower. Many
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I heard about this one.
users believed Apple was doing this on purpose to push them to buy the latest iPhone. People thought this theory was crazy, and if you believed it, you were just paranoid. Then in 2017, something happened.
I also do believe that there is a bunch of machines that conveniently go wrong after the guarantee is off. Like, my parents had like multiple TVs that had like 2 years guarantee, 2 year plus minus a few months. It's gone. Like, what the fuck?
Suddenly, you didn't seem so crazy after all. That year, Apple released a software update called iOS 10.2.1.
Planned obsolescence? Wait, there is a name for it? So it wasn't that we were paranoid, it's actually real. What the fuck? Oh man, I hate living in this world.
After users installed it, complaints started pouring in. Users with older iPhones said their batteries were acting strangely. A phone might show a 30% battery, then suddenly drop to 1%. Seconds later, the phone would shut down. People complained all over social media. They were confused, frustrated, and demanded answers. But Apple didn't respond. So one man decided to look into it himself. John Poole was a software developer. He noticed that people were complaining about their iPhones. His wife was one of them.
I have to put on my tinfoil hat. I realize it now. I was too naive. I need my tinfoil hat.
Wife just offhand mentioned that her iPhone 6S felt slow, and the numbers that we got out of it were significantly lower than what I'd expect from a phone like that.
Poole knew enough about phones to analyze the situation.
It was sort of a eureka moment, and that's what prompted me to really take a deep dive into our database of...
I have never seen someone with a muscly forehead. This man is thinking so much that not only his brain is wrinkly, but also his forehead looks like he has like little Snickers muscles on it. It's so big, it's bulging out. He must play Factorio. Dude, his factory must be really efficient.
performance data and see what was happening.
He ran performance tests on older iPhones and compared the results to newer ones. What he found was hard to ignore. Older iPhones running newer versions of iOS had lower performance scores, but it was only happening to phones with older batteries. After analyzing everything, he reached one unsettling conclusion. Apple was deliberately slowing down older iPhones. Poole published his findings on his blog on December 2017. Millions read it and they were furious. For the first time, the old joke about Apple slowing phones down didn't feel like a joke anymore. Now Apple had to answer for it. Just 2 days after Poole's blog went viral, Apple released a statement.
We apologize. We hear you. There's been a lot of misunderstanding about this issue, so we would like to clarify and let you know about some changes we are making.
Apple confirms it slows down the performance of older iPhones to reduce power demands.
The company admitted it was slowing down older phones, but it said there was a good reason for it. As iPhones get older, so do their batteries.
Listen, we are slowing it down, but it's just for you. It's so that you're safer. It's definitely because we don't want you to buy the newest fucking edition that only has the only difference in it that your phone case doesn't fit. There's no other improvement, but it also has a new color, peachy pink, just for you. Also, it's $200 more expensive, but please buy it. Screw, didn't your phone explode? It didn't explode. It just overheated and got in a boot loop. It didn't explode. Sad. Yeah, it was about to. It was just a little bit puffed up, okay? It was a little bit needed vegetables. Did you put it in send? I put it up your ass.
Older batteries can't handle power the way they used to. If an older battery is pushed too hard, the phone might shut down or crash. To prevent that from happening, Apple added software that reduced the processor speed on older models. But that explanation didn't calm customers down. The problem wasn't just the slowdown. The problem was that Apple kept it hidden. Soon, lawsuits began piling up.
So far, 2 lawsuits have been filed in Los Angeles and Illinois, claiming those suing never consented to allow Apple to slow their older iPhones.
Never consented. What a thing to say. I did not consent for you to fuck up my phone.
Apple was sued in the US, Canada, Israel, and several European countries. Attorneys said Apple acted deceptively by hiding the shutdown and slowdown issues. In 2020, Apple agreed to settle the lawsuits. The company reportedly paid about $500 million. Every iPhone
But to who? Who got this?
user included in the lawsuit received a little less than $100.
Okay, but you buy... I don't mean to be like that, but a new iPhone is not $92. So, like, what am I supposed to do with that $92? Just, like, wipe my ass with it? Hello?
$100. But as part of the deal, Apple did not admit to breaking any laws or any other wrongdoing. Today, Apple's more transparent about battery performance. The company also added a new feature that shows battery health. Up next is the story of a product that millions of people bought without knowing it was a death trap.
Ooh.
The Ford Pinto conspiracy.
Is that a car?
The Ford Pinto is remembered as one of the most dangerous cars ever. Even a small crash could make it burst into flames. Many people ended up in the emergency room. The conspiracy theory was that
It exploded when it got hit from behind. What? I don't mean to be like that, but that seems a little bit,
This is absolutely true. It's also called planned obsolescence. This spans across a lot of different things. This is also why cars aren't made to last anymore. But I still have my iPhone 5S. The Cash for Clunkers car campaign was pushed to get people to get rid of good cars that were just older.
Aww. That's so sad. I drive a Pinto. Listen, just cover up your ass, okay? Because you will get a speed boost if someone bumps you from behind.
Ford themselves knew the cars were going to explode, but they hid that information and sold it anyway. That was a serious accusation, but the truth was even worse. In the 1960s, the Ford Motor Company was in trouble. Other car companies were selling smaller, cheaper vehicles, and Ford needed something that could compete. So the CEO
So they made up an explosive car? How the fuck is that competing? Hello? A bomb. No, you're not supposed to kill the consumers. No, you're supposed to go for the other people. Hello?
Told engineers to build a car that was cheap, small, and fuel efficient. Those targets were difficult but not impossible. The real problem was time. Designing a new car normally took 43 months. Ford engineers were given only 25. That deadline forced them to rush the design process. The result was the Ford Pinto. Eventually, it was time for crash testing, which is standard for any new car. Engineers wanted to see what would happen if the Pinto crashed. When the Pinto was hit from behind, the gas tank ruptured. Fuel spilled, sparks flew, and then boom, the Pinto burst into flames.
So surely, since they noticed this during the testing, they did not put it up onto the market, so no one ever died or got injured, right? Because this came up while they were doing the testing, even if they had to cut their time development shorter, right? Right?
Ford crash tested the car over 40 times. The same problem occurred. When the Pinto was rear-ended, the car caught fire. The problem came from the car's design. Engineers placed the gas tank right behind the rear bumper.
Yeah. Yeah, I can sort of see how that could be a problem. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Despite the obvious danger, Ford moved ahead with production. Thousands of Pintos were built and sold. It was an instant hit.
When I bought my Pinto,
Get it? An instant hit from behind. The explosive on the marketplace.
I figured it was a good value, but I didn't know how good until my dad started borrowing it. So I ended up buying my own.
And I bought one, and I bought one.
And I bought one.
Millions of
Oh no, women bought it. Oh hell nah. It's over, man. It's the ladies are driving.
Americans bought one. They had no idea they were getting into a death trap. Not long after the Pinto hit the road, the disasters began. Drivers reported the same terrifying pattern. Another car would hit them from behind. Then the Pinto would burst into flames. It happened again and again. Too often to be a coincidence. Some victims began to ask, did Ford already know this could happen? Ford said there was no problem. The Pinto met all safety standards. Even so, some victims filed lawsuits. Those cases went to trial in the mid-1970s. And the Pinto case became a national story. As the trial got more attention, one reporter decided to dig deeper. He got access to Ford's internal company records. What he found was alarming. The document showed that Ford engineers already knew the car could explode.
Can we agree that if you're about to commit a crime, maybe just don't leave physical evidence about knowing the crime? Like, just maybe burn that part, just so that you can have plausible deniability that, oh no, that's crazy. We didn't know. Wow.
But that wasn't the worst part. Once the accidents began, Ford had another chance to act. The company thought about recalling every Pinto and fixing the issue, but executives felt it would be too expensive. Recalling and fixing every Pinto would cost $137 million. They estimated that settling victims' lawsuits would cost about $50 million.
Damn. Let me guess, they got 90-something bucks for their car. And then they moved on.
So the company decided it was cheaper to let people get hurt. In September 1977, the reporter went public with his findings. His article was titled Pinto Madness. TV networks, newspapers picked up the story. Now the conspiracy theory no longer sounded crazy. Ford...
Dude, that's crazy. They calculated the unit cost $200,000 per death, $67,000 per injury. Wow.
Crazy. Ford knew the car was dangerous and sold it anyway. In total, 117 families.
$200K is not that much for dying. Like, not gonna lie. It's kind of shit. You can't buy anything out of that.
Families sued Ford over the Pinto. The company paid more than $100 million to settle the cases. In June 1978, Ford finally recalled 1.5 million Ford Pintos. Engineers made the necessary changes to prevent explosions. No one knows exactly how many people passed away in Pinto fires. Some estimates put the number in the hundreds. Others say it was much lower. But whatever the true number was, it was far too many. Up next is the story of an industry that quietly rewrote the rules of nutrition, and millions of people paid the price. The Big Sugar Conspiracy.
Oh God. Oh God. Dude, there is so much things that you could talk about food. Basically, every American food. I am still beefing with what you guys call bread. And by bread, I mean the toast bread. That sweet whatever bread that basically is a sponge. It doesn't expire. I still remember my friend in Chicago had a bread. It was like a toast bread. And it was called Hawaiian bread or something. And he had it up. And we had to go. It was like a group of us, right? We bought the thing. We were crashing at his place. He bought the bread, put it up. We stayed in LA for like 2 weeks and came back, and the bread was just the same. There was no mold on it. It was still soft. It wasn't in the fridge. It was just fine. It was still just as when you bought it. 2 weeks, baby girl. 2 weeks.
For years, doctors said eating fatty foods caused heart disease, but some scientists believed the wrong food was getting blamed. To them, sugar was the real danger. As they dug deeper, they uncovered a dark conspiracy to bury the truth. It involved bribes, intimidation, and even fake research. In the late 1950s, thousands of Americans were passing away from heart attacks. Doctors and researchers were trying to figure out why. In 1965, a nutritionist suggested that too much sugar might be the reason.
He started to wonder late in the 1950s whether sugar might be a culprit in the increase in heart disease.
The sugar industry was alarmed by that theory. Americans were consuming more sugar than ever before. It was
Oh my God. Wait, was that kid having like a bowl of cereal and putting that much sugar into it? Child. Child, what is that? Jesus Christ. That's a lot of sugar. No way.
Before. It was in soft drinks, candy, and desserts. If the public blamed sugar for heart disease, the industry could lose billions. To protect their business, they needed to shift the blame, and they knew exactly how to do it. There was a group called the Sugar Research Foundation. It was dedicated to the scientific study of sugar's role in food. On the surface, the group looked neutral and trustworthy, but behind the scenes, it was run by people who made money selling sugar.
What the fuck is a hamburger helper? What is that? What does that mean? Hamburger helper. It's pasta and spices. American food scares me so much. It's actually insane.
They wanted people to keep eating sugar even if it was harming their health. So in July 1965, the Sugar Research Foundation contacted a researcher at Harvard University. They asked him to write a study on the cause of heart disease, but there was a catch. The paper needed to downplay the dangers of sugar and shift the blame to fatty foods. The foundation paid the researcher tens of thousands of dollars.
God, I wish I would be smart enough that companies would write me or pay me so that I can write a corrupt research about something. It's just like, here, Scoo, $1 million. Now tell us how cocaine is actually really good for a baby's development. I will be like, I'm on it, sir. Just hit me up.
Back then, scientists didn't have to reveal who funded their work, so the public never knew about the deal. In 1967, the Harvard researcher published his paper. It said that cutting fat out of your diet was the best way to avoid heart disease. And because the study came from Harvard, people trusted it. Almost no one knew that the sugar industry paid for this study. Sugar executives were thrilled. One of them even wrote to the researcher, "Let me assure you, this is quite what we had in mind." Over time, the idea that fatty foods alone caused heart disease became widely accepted. A few years later, the US government released dietary guidelines. It told Americans to cut back on saturated fat, especially red meat. Many people...
Well, isn't this like, you know, when back then they were deciding how to put like that food triangle, and like the milk industry decided that people have to drink more milk, and so they just put it in like, oh yeah, milk is like super important. It doesn't give you jack shit. Like there's barely any calcium, if any, in it. And it's just like, oh yeah, we just have to sell you more.
followed that advice without cutting sugar. Many Americans switched to low-fat products. Food companies advertised low-fat yogurt, snacks, and dessert.
Who would do it right? Hard to believe it's got less fat.
But many of these low-fat foods had extra sugar for flavor.
Delicious. Simply delicious.
So people ended up consuming even more sugar than before. Over time, the health problems worsened. That confused a lot of doctors. Some scientists questioned the old research on fat and sugar, but there was still no proof that the study was manipulated. It took nearly 50 years for the truth to come out. In 2009, a researcher was studying the history of nutrition science. Her name was Kristen Kearns. While going through...
Bro, she just discovered it like less than 10 years ago. That's crazy.
Harvard records, she found letters between Harvard researchers and the Sugar Research Foundation.
The first folder that I pulled out opened up to a memo, the blue letterhead of the Sugar Association.
Gentlemen, if you commit a crime, please do not leave written evidence of it. Thank you.
Jesus, is it really, really that hard? Just commit a crime. Just burn the evidence, bro. Not like... Yeah, thank you. This is exactly what we needed.
And it had the word confidential.
Those letters proved that the sugar industry funded the research and probably influenced the results. In September 2016, Kearns published what she found. It shocked the world.
New this morning, Bay Area researchers are accusing the sugar industry of some unsavory behavior.
Believe me, I've been reading this for the past couple of days, like, oh my God.
What did you think?
Dude, American TV is so interesting. Sometimes these American, the crazy eyes, they're like always very intense, you know, very I don't know, I'm not even sure what the right word is. Intense, maybe.
We shaped our notion of healthy diets for decades on this. Don't ever eat fat, sugar, no problem.
By then, the researchers who wrote the paper were no longer alive, but the Sugar Research Foundation still existed. It now went by a new name, the Sugar Association. When people confronted the group, it denied doing anything wrong. It admitted it funded the research, but insisted it didn't influence the results.
They did the thing that Blizzard does when they check up on themselves, and it's like, yeah, we had an internal investigation. We didn't do anything bad. Anyway, bye.
Even so, it was too late to undo the damage. For decades, people ate foods packed with sugar, and many paid the price with their health. That was a lie that lasted 50 years, all because the sugar industry wanted to protect their profits. This next chapter is about a secret military operation so unbelievable, the government denied it ever happened. The weather...
MK Ultra. I wish that would have happened. I mean, that kind of happened. Like, when they put like LSD into people's food and whatnot. That must have been so much fun.
Control conspiracy. Have you ever heard anyone say that the government can control the weather? It sounds like the kind of thing only paranoid...
Okay, but the government can control the weather. Isn't it like the government has like access to something to make it rain, but you're not supposed to do that because you fuck up the rain in other countries or something? I swear I heard about it, that it's not healthy for the environment. Yeah.
People would believe, but that idea didn't come from nowhere. In the 1960s, the United States was fighting in Vietnam, but the war wasn't going well. One major problem...
I swear it's not a movie. I heard about it, that you're not supposed to do it.
Was the Vietnamese army's supply network. Their soldiers had secret roads running through the jungle. They used these routes to move food, weapons, and troops. As long as supply routes stayed open, it was much harder for the US to win. The US wanted to shut them down, but there were too many hidden roads to find and block. Then the military noticed something. Whenever heavy rain fell, the roads turned into mud. Trucks got stuck and people struggled to move through it. That made moving supplies much harder for Vietnamese forces. That gave the US an idea. If they could make it rain all the time, the enemy would have a much harder time moving supplies through the jungle. Controlling the weather sounded like science fiction, but the government had a reason to believe it was possible. Years earlier, a chemist named Vincent Schaefer ran some weather experiments. Schaefer flew over New York and dropped 3 pounds of dry ice into a cloud. Within minutes, the cloud began producing snow. He called it cloud seeding.
See, I'm not stupid. It wasn't a movie thing.
and it proved that humans might be able to influence the weather. During the Vietnam War, the military decided to try it. It was called Operation Popeye.
The goal of Operation Popeye was to extend the monsoon season and create an inordinate amount of rainfall by seeding clouds.
Air Force planes were loaded with canisters of silver.
Dude, I feel like that should be like illegal, like manipulating the fucking PvP zone to gather advantage over it. I don't know, that doesn't seem fair. That's like some fucking abuse.
Silver iodide. The planes flew into storm clouds and released them. The silver iodide triggered more rainfall. The extra rain turned roads into mud. Some paths even flooded. Moving supplies became much harder.
I think Agent Orange was a bit worse. What is Agent Orange? I don't know what that is.
For Vietnamese forces. The mission was a success. For 5 years, the US military kept doing it.
They flew over 2,600 missions from a period of 1966 to 1972.
And they kept the operation top secret.
Oh, like poison? Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually a big fan of what we should do instead of war. We should have always the prime minister or whoever the fuck is the leader 1v1 the other country's prime minister, and whoever wins, wins. Yeah, love? No, fuck that. I want 1-to-1 PvP so that all the people can just chill.
But secrets like that don't stay hidden forever. In March 1971, a reporter of the Washington Post exposed the operation. He revealed how the military was using the weather as a weapon of...
You know, that's a good idea. So you sell tickets and whichever country wins can get the money to rebuild and whatever. Yeah, that's a good idea. Champion versus champion. I guarantee you that we wouldn't have pussy politicians anymore. Like, none of this, like, obese bastard, ugly old man pushing fucking 80 halfway into the goddamn funeral home, you know? It would be like nice, strong chads. It's like, hell yeah.
War. The public was shocked. Lawmakers were angry that they were never informed. The defense secretary was called before Congress to explain himself, but he denied everything. He called the claims wild tales. That denial only made things worse because reporters kept...
It's not real. We made this one up. We definitely didn't diddle the clouds so that they will listen to us.
Digging. In July 1972, another reporter published a story in the New York Times. It was titled, "Rainmaking is Used as Weapon by US." This time, the evidence was much stronger. The reporter had spoken with people involved in the operation. Now the story was no longer just a rumor. The defense secretary and military officials were summoned to a secret Senate hearing. They were asked about the project again, and they finally admitted the truth. That raised a disturbing question. If one...
So what I'm hearing is that back then, they even sexually harassed the clouds. That's impressive. It's like, you know, everyone is freaking about the island, but if you think about it, even like, fucking hell, man, fingering Mother Nature for this. What the hell? Every hole is a goal. The cloud fucking cumulonimbus.
One country could use weather as a weapon. What would happen if other countries did the same? It could destabilize the climate, disrupt food supply, and create other serious problems.
You know, that would be a really good sci-fi movie. Just like governments fucking with each other's weather. Unironically.
World leaders didn't want that to happen. So by 1977, world leaders signed an agreement banning the use of weather as a weapon. Today, over 70 countries have signed that treaty.
Okay, just a naive, silly question. What if someone just says no? What are you going to do? Take their weather away or... Yeah, listen, the threat of Hungary fucking up your weather is never zero, okay? I'm sorry.
As far as we know, no country has weaponized the weather since.
As long as you know it.
However, cloud seeding never stopped. It's still used for farming and weather-related needs. So the weather control conspiracy theory turned out to be true. The leader in our next chapter believed the government was his enemy, so he decided to destroy it from the inside. The Scientology conspiracy.
Oh god, Tom Cruise. Oh no, he's coming. It's gonna be Tom Cruise.
The Church of Scientology has been accused of many things, including being a cult, but one claim stood out from the rest. People said the church was doing illegal things to silence its enemies and manipulate the government. So were these conspiracy theories true? But to understand why—
It's probably just blackmail. It's nothing too fancy. I absolutely believe anything like this is cultish. Like, when it's easy to get in and they diddle with your money and it's very hard to leave, that's a cult. Yeah.
Why millions of people believe this church is dangerous, we have to go back to where it all started. The Church of Scientology began in 1953. It was founded by a science fiction writer named L. Ron Hubbard.
Can we just agree that maybe we will not start to have a new Bible written by a sci-fi author? You know, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying that he's a sci-fi author. But Techno Jesus, I unironically don't even know what Scientology is about. I have no idea. Like, what are the bullet points? He's very wrong.
It said Scientology was a religion that could help people.
It's about giving money to the leader. Oh, never mind. Amazing. 10 out of 10 religion. I'm making my own. Wait. Is a Subaton a Scientology religion? Oh no, because hold on, because if that's the core belief, are we a cult?
People unlock their full potential.
Read Scientology.
You see that shit? You see that shit? Oh my god. Oh my god.
The Fundamentals of Thought by L. Ron Hubbard. Your search is over, but the adventure's just begun.
That message attracted thousands of followers, but as Scientology grew, so did the controversy around it. Former members accused the church of extortion and harassment. By the mid-1960s, the complaints were too many to ignore. The US government started investigating Scientology's internal practices, and what they found was troubling. Large amounts of church money were going straight to the founder, Hubbard. He was
Wow. Shocking. This is me being shocked. What? No way. Oh my. How could they? Unheard of.
Running it less like a religion and more like a business. So the government revoked Scientology's tax-exempt.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. This is a business. We want our cut. I love it how they didn't ban or anything. Is just like, okay, but you have to tax.
Status. Other countries went even further.
The state of Victoria in Australia has passed a law making it a criminal offence for anyone to demand or receive payment for the pseudo-medical practice of Scientology.
Hubbard was furious. He believed the government was targeting him unfairly. He gave interviews defending Scientology.
Why do they just fight it and say there's something bad, but they never specify?
This man is that rich and he couldn't fix his teeth. Like, I know it's hard to see, but there is something wrong with that man's teeth.
Something bad, but they never specify what's bad. They haven't specified. For instance, right now they say we're breaking up marriages. Right, that's a lie.
But instead of fighting back in court, Hubbard came up with a much darker plan. He would attack the government from within. In 1973, Hubbard launched Operation.
Oh my god. They hired Tom Cruise. It was what Mission Impossible is all about. And he just sneaks in. It's like
Snow White. The mission was simple. Scientology wanted to infiltrate government offices and erase every damaging file about the church. To do that, Hubbard created a network of spies. They made Scientology members apply for jobs in government.
Okay, but that's kind of cool. I know it's bad, Mr. Scientologist, dude. But that's kind of cool, though. You have to admit, it's like, he's like, you know, okay, we are in this cult/religion, whatever, and then you will be a spy, and you will get hired, and you will just take all of the paper and the proof against us. He's a sci-fi author for a reason. You know what? I'm fine with that.
Agencies. They targeted places like the IRS and the Department of Justice. Once they got hired, the spies searched for files on Scientology. Then they stole those files or destroyed them. Sometimes they swapped real records with fake ones that made the church look harmless. The operation was led by Hubbard's wife, Mary Sue.
Hold up. Hold up. Is she Is she called a Mary Sue because she's a Mary Sue? Or is it just a pure coincidence? Hold up.
She trained Scientologists to become spies. They learned how to forge IDs and manipulate people. For 5 years, the plan worked. Scientology infiltrated 136 government agencies in 30 countries. But the church was not just stealing files. They were also going after anyone who criticized them. Hubbard kept a list of the church's enemies. Paulette Cooper was at the top of that list. In 1972, she published a book titled The Scandal of Scientology. It was one of the first books to openly
And then Paulette just fucking disappeared the next day. Chopped up into teeny tiny pieces, made into human sushi.
criticize the church. Scientology church leaders hated her for it, so they decided to ruin her life.
They sued me 19 times all over the world, put me through 50 days of depositions. They sent a lot of horrible anonymous smear letters about me.
Then they decided to frame her for a crime.
They stole my stationery. They got my fingerprint on a piece of paper, and then they sent bomb threats to themselves.
Scientologists got a paper with Paulette's finger.
Yeah, how could Tom do this? I can't believe he did this. He was supposed to be the America hero.
Fingerprints. Then they used that paper to send device threats to their own church. After that, they reported the threats to the FBI themselves. To investigators, it looked like she was guilty. Paulette was arrested and charged. If convicted, she could spend years behind bars. The Scientologists were celebrating. However, their entire operation was about to fall apart. In May 1976, 2 Scientology spies broke into a courthouse in Washington, D.C. They were trying to steal more documents, but the plan failed. A security
Do you think this is why Tom Cruise does his own tricks? Like, the Scientology just fucking trains him to be this, like, superhuman. He's just practicing in case he has to, like, break into the White House or something. It's like, Tom, listen, we need you. We have a paper. It needs to go. It's like, I got you.
security guard caught them using forged IDs. Federal agents traced those fake IDs back to Scientology. So in July 1977, FBI agents raided Scientology offices. They seized about 100,000 stolen government documents. They also uncovered files that exposed Operation Snow White. Those files showed that Scientology framed Paulette Cooper too.
They found something that said along the line of conspired to frame Miss Lovely, which was the code name that...
Aww, but it's kind of cute. Even if they were your enemies, they thought you were lovely. Miss Lovely.
Hubbard gave to me.
They could have called her like a raging cunt, right? Or just like an old hag, but it was Miss Lovely. That's kind of cute.
11 high-ranking Scientology officials were convicted. Among them was Mary Sue, the wife of L. Ron Hubbard. She was sentenced to 5 years behind bars. But one key figure avoided charges, L. Ron Hubbard himself. Investigators believed he directed the operation, but they could never prove it in court. After the convictions, Hubbard disappeared from public life. He spent the rest of his life paranoid and in hiding. Scientology still exists today, and it is still powerful. Its members include celebrities, lawmakers, and wealthy CEOs. Who knows how much more
Wait, John Travolta is also Scientologist? Holy shit.
powerful it could have become if its spies stayed inside the government. This next chapter is about...
I didn't know that. Big Sag, listen, if he wants to believe in sci-fi Jesus and corrupt the government and break into the White House, there are worse hobbies than that.
a secret club that most powerful people in the world don't want you to know about. The Secret Society Conspiracy.
Ooh.
You've probably heard the theory that a secret group of rich and powerful men control the world.
I believe that. Like, that's my tinfoil. I believe that. There's something BlackRock, something rich people, something.
That they meet in private to decide wars, pick presidents, and shape major events. Most people brushed off.
It's called capitalism. Nah, man. I guarantee you, they are influencing these bunch of retards who have the attention span of like an iPad kid. I swear to God. And now it's easier than ever. Everyone is dumb as a rock.
This conspiracy theory is nonsense, but it turns out there's some truth to it. There's a forest in Northern California where powerful men really do meet in secret. Those...
Oh God, it's like the island, but it's a forest. It's bushier. Oh shit. That's it.
Men are members of the Bohemian Club. The club was formed in 1872
Bohemian
in San
Club.
Francisco. At first, it was just a few dozen men talking about art, but over time, the club began to change. Businessmen, lawyers, and politicians joined. Within a few decades, the Bohemian Club was no longer mainly about creativity. It was about power. In the 1890s, the club built a private camp.
You know, when feminists are saying that all men are the same, these are the people who they talk about. It's not like the gamer boy who is too shy to address a girl. It's like they think when they tell you that you're wrong and you're a bigot, they think they are fighting the patriarchy. They are fighting this.
A private camp deep in the California redwoods. They called it Bohemian Grove. Every summer, members traveled there for a 2-week retreat. As the years passed, the
You know, I think they need some diversity. They should bring in some women, preferably morbidly obese ones, and some, you know, more life into the group. Yeah, it's like some sweet baby ink.
guest list became more impressive. Multiple US presidents attended, but as the Grove got more powerful, it also became more exclusive and secretive.
You don't ask to join, they ask you. The whole thing.
Well, actually, I really find it offensive because what do you mean that they have a place when I cannot go in? What the fuck? And what about the lack of diversity? It's just a bunch of old farts. I'm sorry.
It's about excluding certain people, and other people get to go to this fancy retreat.
No one was allowed to take photographs. Journalists were banned from entering. Members followed.
Okay, that's fair. I don't mean to be like that, but journalists are very fucking annoying and loud. I would ban them too.
Followed one strict rule. What happened at Bohemian Grove stayed at Bohemian Grove.
Oh, it's like a fight club, but like more illegal. Or I don't know. Did they have hookers?
Naturally, this made people suspicious. What were these powerful men doing in secret? For decades, no one on the outside.
Dude, and it turns out that it was just a gigantic gay club for like the ultra rich. It's just where people can go just like full on raw dogging each other. That's why there was like no phone, no pictures, nothing. Yeah, just like a legendary circle jerk. They were just celebrating in the masturbatorium.
Really knew. Then one journalist managed to get in. In July 1989.
See, you see this shit? Journals, like, goddammit, you have your secret fucking society, and then once you bend the rule fucking once, and you get this shit.
A journalist named Philip Weiss got inside Bohemian Grove. He planned to sneak in, but when he got there, security was much lighter than he expected, so he pretended to be a guest and stayed for 7 days. Weiss saw celebrities, politicians, and business executives. He heard discussions about major issues. It all seemed impressive, but on the first night, things went from impressive to bizarre. After dark, men in dark robes walked in a slow procession. They carried a coffin, then they placed it in front of the—
Oh, God forbid that the boys are LARPing in the forest. Seriously? Can the boys just have some fun?
Statue of an owl. The statue was 40 feet tall. Then they set the coffin on fire. The ceremony was called the cremation of care. Inside the coffin was a figure meant to represent the worries of everyday life. Burning it symbolized letting those worries go. When he got back to New York, Weiss wrote about what he saw. His article was published in Spy magazine, and it caused a sensation. For the first time, the public got a glimpse inside Bohemia.
Okay, but that's not illegal. To chat about shit, and then it was a little bit girly, like, oh, we are manifesting and we are letting the depression and negative thoughts go and we're burning it away. Yeah, sure, a little bit cultish, but...
Grove. The idea that world leaders were performing rituals in the woods sounded unbelievable, but it was happening. Bohemian Grove still operates today. Every summer, members gather in the forest. Cameras are still banned. Journalists aren't allowed to enter. And the same rule still applies. What happens at Bohemian Grove stays at Bohemian Grove. So was the conspiracy theory true? What we know for sure is that they really do meet at Bohemian Grove. What they discuss, however, remains a mystery.
Wait, isn't this the AI cunt? The first one? He has a very punchable face. the ChatGPT guy or whatever.
It's a mystery. Are they deciding the fate of the world or just spending time with friends? Governments, corporations, powerful organizations, they all made the same bet that the story reaching you would be the one they wanted you to hear. My friends, the most dangerous thing you can do is trust without question. Visual Venture. Speaking of,
I will be honest with you, I don't think they invited Zuckerberg ever for it, because then someone would have told him how his metaverse was a horrible idea. So bad. So ridiculously bad. Yeah, so I don't think so.